A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy Wednesday morning in the Wicked Weed studio. WickedWeedBrewing.com. Drink different. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green with you. And there's a whole lot going on in the NFL that we can talk about today. Oh, something's wrong with Kentucky basketball, too. We might get into that as well.
You know who else is bad? Duke's bad. Sorry, Duke fans. You suck a lot.
Oh, say it again.
You suck this many.
Yeah. I love it. Love it as a Tar Heel fan, but, we're not much better, so there is that. We did beat Syracuse last night. Brian! Eat it, Orange.
Suck it.
Your mascot is a fruit. I don't think you're allowed to be that angry.
Well, we had to change it because it got to be PC. We can't be no Indians.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that Native American thing anymore.
Was that a... I never knew that was a Native American
thing. It was like in the 50s, I think.
I never knew that. I hear Orange Man and all I think of is 45 at this point, so,
Oh. Yeah. All right, welcome into the Sportsocracy. Be sure to like, share, and follow the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Jeremy, what do you make of Andre Johnson and this
Andre
Houston
Johnson's
Texans
pissed.
thing?
Here's the thing. He's not wrong. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Andre Johnson came out and said that Deshaun Watson should stand firm and get his ass out of Houston because they have a reputation for ruining people's careers or wasting people's careers away.
Yep.
That felt like a personal shot to me. Like, talking about me.
I mean, think about it.
I did it. You did it to me.
He's one of the greatest receivers of all time, and he's not wrong. That entire franchise has just been cursed since the beginning.
Well, no, they're an expansion
from David Carr.
Well, David Carr was not a curse. They ruined David Carr.
That's what I'm saying. It's all just been a big snowball to this point now, where you had something going. You had a streak of playoff appearances, and now you had Bill O'Brien gut this team.
Mm-hmm.
And their future assets.
Yeah, this is why you don't give full control to a coach.
Right. And now it's really bad. And the way that they've handled this whole thing, like, you said this story broke like a week ago. And
it was the end of last week.
It never entered my sphere until this Andre Johnson thing came about. But
Andre Johnson certainly escalated.
Right. But they went through and got a search committee together to figure out who they're going to hire as their new GM. And Tony Dungy was on the committee, and so was Andre Johnson. And apparently the search committee came up with a list of finalists. And Nick Caserio was not on their finalist list.
See, and that's where I draw that's where the problem comes in for me. All right, you want a hardline stance that, you didn't listen to our list. Oh, well, Nick Caserio's... he's been at the top of the list to get a GM job for 4 years. Mm-hmm. This is the guy they tried to hire 2 years ago and got blocked by New England because it wasn't a promotion.
Right.
So, if he's not on your list, it kind of invalidates your list.
Yeah, I understand that theory, but there's also the fact that this is not who the search committee wanted in this position. Like, they didn't want another New England guy coming in under Jack Easterby. And
yeah, Jack Easterby that's the name
problem.
That's the one I can never remember is Jack Easterby.
Yeah, Jack Easterby, who was been with the organization for a while. He's like the VP of football operations, and he's the guy. It was the New England connection that we put all these pieces together about. We all know that Nick Caserio is coming to be the GM because Jack Easterby's already tried to hire his friend for his former coworker before. And, that's why we had the Josh McDaniels talk. If Josh McDaniels doesn't get the New England Patriots job and Bill Belichick doesn't step down, then he may end up being the head coach because of the nepotism, I guess, within that organization. And they got the search committee together, and the search committee, to me, said to Jack Easterby, we don't want this New England thing to continue anymore. And he said, fuck you guys. I want Nick. And I went out and hired Nick. And they're trying to make it a racial thing as well, that the two finalists that they gave them were both minority candidates, and here you go. They give the job to Nick Caserio. I don't know that had anything to do with it. The factor for me is Jack Easterby knows Nick Caserio, and that's his guy. That's who he wanted.
Let's be really fair. That's who Cal McNair wanted to. I mean, the owner signs off on these things.
Yeah.
So, did the owner change? No? Oh, okay. Why are we shocked that you wanted the same guy you wanted 2 years ago?
Right.
I mean, you can be outraged about a lot of things, but at some point you have to go, oh, wait, does this make sense?
Oh, wait.
This ain't my team, right?
Well, I mean, here's the
Like,
thing.
we'll
We
give
do
you-
this all the time. Every year we go through these coaching searches and, oh, why did they not interview this guy? Read the damn tea leaves. It's not that hard to figure out.
Right.
It's just like the New York Jets. All right, let me walk you through a coaching GM search. This is how they work. Joe Douglas played football in college. You know who that ties into? Todd McShay, because they played together in college. If you've ever wondered where I get all of my Jet information, you just go down that little rabbit hole. You'll figure it out eventually. He worked with Doug Peterson in Philadelphia. They won a Super Bowl together. Robert Salah, they're connected too. Now it's 5 degrees of separation. They've never worked directly together, but they've worked with people that have worked with people. Mm-hmm. It's not hard to figure out how these lists wind up happening because you want to work with people that you know. I mean, you understand, for Cal McNair, going back to Houston, this is an important hire because your team has been gutted.
Yeah.
So you want me on the recommendation of a search committee to attach rebuilding my franchise to a guy who I don't know. I don't know him. You know how that ends up? Mike McCagnon. I've seen it. Mm-hmm. We did that one time. Mm-hmm. Charlie Casserly told us you should 100% hire Mike McCagnon, and it got everybody fired. And how much skin was it off Charlie Casserly's nose? None. Did he lose his job at NFL Network? Nope. I told you to hire him. Okay, what's the ramifications for you when this is a big turd sandwich? None. Oh, people don't call you to ask anymore. Oh, well, shit. Oh, sad. The whole thing drives me insane. Like, they didn't listen to our recommendation. Andre Johnson, let me ask you a question. How many personnel people have you ever hired in your life? Mm-hmm. I know the answer. It's zero. Tony Dungy, same way. It's zero. We respect your opinion, and we listen to your opinion. Doesn't mean we're going to do it.
I mean, that's a good point. But you also bring in these football people to help you make these football decisions. And when I guess you don't even, I don't know, put up a fight for their finalists, they feel slighted. And I can understand why. Take for example, in your personal life. Me and my wife have had this, over and over and over again conversation about whatever inane thing. I will give her my opinion and I will say, this is how I think you should handle this. And then she goes and does it the way she wants to, and it blows up in her face. And I sit back and go, told you.
Told you so.
Next time you want me to help you make this decision, remember that conversation, handle it that way, and let's not have the conversation anymore.
Yeah.
And to me, that's kind of I guess, handling it this way, you burn some bridges. If they ever come a-calling to Tony Dungy for advice ever again, no.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to give you
Oh, yeah, you want me to tell you another? Oh, just listen to the point. All right, I'm going down a rabbit hole.
God.
I can't help it. I get so tired of I know what I'm talking about. Do you know how many people that have played football in their life don't know their head from a fucking jackrabbit? Because it's a lot. Just because you played and you were athletic and talented does not mean you know jack shit. I've been fired up about this for 3 days. You let me, you open the door, and I'm going to walk through it.
Yeah.
I never got to the level of Andre Johnson in any sport. Guess what? I know this sport better than he does. I've watched more tape in the last month than he's probably watched in the last 5 years since he retired. So I'm just telling you, listening to players winds up with Adam Gase.
Okay, now do Tony Dungy.
Has Tony Dungy ever hired a personnel guy in his life?
I have no idea.
Ever. Has he ever done it ever? No. He's a great coach. Stay in your lane. Be great at what you do. Tony Dungy is a great analyst. He's a phenomenal analyst. He was a phenomenal coach.
Mm-hmm.
Has he ever been an owner?
No.
Has he ever been a GM?
No.
Has he ever been a vice president of player operations? I keep doing this. The answer is going to continue to be no.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You recommend Louis Riddick. Why? You're talking about nepotism. Why is Louis Riddick one of the guys that you nominated? Because he's an analyst too. You don't know that this guy's going to be he was a decent scout. I need you to think about what I'm getting ready to say. If he was a super scout, how'd he end up at ESPN?
Mm-hmm.
Anybody?
More money.
He got fired. That's how he wound up at ESPN. He got fired, and they said, bah. Then all of a sudden he comes on television, and I'll say this: Louis Riddick is a smart damn guy.
Yep.
I mean, he is a smart guy. I don't know that he could be a GM. I don't know how he interviewed. They did interview him. Mm-hmm. I don't know what he said in that room. I have no clue. And you know what? Neither does Andre Johnson or Tony Dungy or any of these other people.
Right.
You don't know.
Right.
Well, I'm going to what Stephen Towns did. Would you hire Chris Collinsworth? I didn't fucking think so.
100%, definitely.
Absolutely, great point. Yeah, I'm out. If we're gonna go down that path of Chris Collinsworth's perfect example.
Who was the other guy they recommended? Omar Khan's the name in my head for some reason.
Believe that's correct.
I think it was Omar Khan. Omar Khan's a smart guy. I will say this about Pittsburgh. Your body of work precedes you. Look at that roster and tell me that you feel real warm and fuzzy about it right now. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. Yeah, you drafted well. Omar Khan had nothing to do with that. Not one damn bit. Because he's not the GM. So, I mean, I can give you the reason that you wouldn't do this. I mean, I know what you want to make it about, and I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not. I'm not going down that path. I'm just straight up not. Yeah. And here's why I say that. I don't think there's any decision maker that goes, I'm going to hire that guy, and I don't think he's better than the guy I'm hiring. Nobody wants to lose. You're hiring the guy that you think gives you the best opportunity to win, in spite of everything else. You can draw from that whatever you want to.
Good job, David Smith. I love that. Now, here's a guy who can't run an organization.
Here's a guy who can't run an organization. God, I hate Chris Collinsworth. Do we have to listen to him again this week?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. I think till we die. I honestly believe that night.
Well, Al Michaels is retiring. Maybe they'll get Chris Collinsworth too. Change the address of the studios and just don't tell him.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea.
He'll be standing outside going, now here's a building I can't get into.
Deshaun Watson, I believe, does need to get out of town. I've seen a lot of people talking about, people have their own opinions of how this is. Oh, well, he should just shut up and play. He should honor the contract and fight for this franchise. And what they have done nothing to keep him there. They have done nothing but destroy this team and bring it down around him. Why would he stay?
I don't disagree with what you just said, but here's the thing, and there is something to this. Mm-hmm. Did you sign the contract?
Yes.
Did you sign it?
Yeah.
You wanted the stability. You wanted the long-term money. You wanted all those things. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna sit out? Mm-hmm. Sit out. See, this is where the hard line we had this discussion with Kyrie Irving yesterday. Because Kyrie Irving has gone complete full out of his fucking mind. And Deshaun Watson's not going to do that. Mm-hmm. Straight up. Deshaun Watson will not do that. And so the question is, what can you actually do? Oh, I'm not going to play. Okay. Let's see how long that lasts. Because when you don't play of your own volition, you don't get paid. And if you don't play enough games, you don't get an accrued year. And we can do this forever. I get really tired of what have you done for me? What have you you doing for me? Well, here's the thing. We're paying you $40 million fucking dollars, so it's a little hard. We didn't exactly have the money to pay DeAndre Hopkins. Mm-hmm. And I'm not agreeing with what Bill O'Brien did. Do not get me wrong. But at the same time, I get it. You paid $40 million to Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. You know what you didn't have? The money to pay DeAndre Hopkins. You know what else you're not going to have? The money to pay J.J. Watt next year. Because he's going to go bye-bye.
Right.
That's the way this goes.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Tao said Adam Gase was on contract. Yeah, he got fired. There's a huge fuck difference. I mean, trust me, if the Jets hadn't changed the key code, he'd be there right now. But he showed up and went, anybody? Adam, I work here.
We're gonna I'm pretty sure they had the meeting where they said, "Give me your key card now."
Yeah. I would.
That's got to be the most humbling thing for a coach.
I would wager with Adam Gase they did that about 9 seconds after the last game ended.
Yeah.
Give me your key.
Yep.
Give it to me.
We'll have your shit boxed up and mailed to you.
Yeah. No. You're
come
not
back.
flying back with us. Fuck you. We got you a Delta standby ticket.
Yeah.
They will find you a seat sometime in the next 12 to 24 hours.
Now, to me, there's something to be said for a player who, you gotta. Is there a right way to do this? That's the thing. I mean,
A right way to do what?
So okay, so they say they're going to include you in organizational decisions, and then they don't because they said they were going to come.
Not going to like my answer.
Well, that's fine. But yeah, you signed the contract, but that was when the team was actually had a chance to win, right?
And they will again.
Maybe
They will again.
if I don't trust the leadership, and you say we're going to include you in all these decisions, and then you don't include him in the decisions. Why am I supposed to trust anything that you're doing? And how do you go about making that known?
Yeah, here's my answer to that. You don't tell the player you're going to include them in the decision because it's none of their fucking business.
But they did. That's the problem.
And that's the problem. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
You know what you look at Deshaun Watson and say? You're one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You know what you've never done? Hired personnel ever. Mm-hmm. We fucked up with Bill O'Brien. I'll give you that. That's how this conversation should have gone. You're right. We screwed up with Bill O'Brien. We will not do that again.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. What I have heard is what Deshaun Watson is so upset about is they didn't interview Eric Bieniemy. I got news for you. He wouldn't take this job anyway. Mm-hmm. Period. Mm-hmm. No doubt, not a snowball's chance in Atlanta he would have taken this job. So you're mad about something that you had no control over. And this is, if that's not the greatest statement for the year 2021 that you've ever heard, I don't know what is. Mm-hmm. You're pissed off about something that you can absolutely do nothing about. It's no one's fault. Eric Bieniemy didn't want this job. And I got news for you. Good coaches are not going to. They're not. They're not going to want this job. You know why? Because you're tied to a $40 million quarterback, and you have nothing around him. And you have no draft picks. Because you let Bill O'Brien gut the franchise.
Yep.
But you know who knew that when they signed the contract? Deshaun Watson. You knew you didn't have any draft picks. You knew you didn't have DeAndre Hopkins. Still signed it anyway. Mm-hmm. So, sorry about your luck. Guess you got fucked by the fickle finger of fate.
I'm more on Deshaun Watson's side in this case than I ever have been for a player who, publicly makes it known that he's not happy with the situation there. Because I believe he was promised things that never came to fruition.
Everyone is.
I'm sure they are. But Deshaun Watson is also a guy that I really, really like and I really respect. And once you tell a guy that we're going to give you a little bit of say, we're going to include you in the discussion, and then you don't do it, then the trust is gone. And now I don't trust this franchise at all. I had to sit through the whole Bill O'Brien gutting the franchise and probably made it known behind closed doors, like, what the hell's going on? We need to do something about this. And nothing was done.
I want you to think about what I'm going to say. Mm-hmm. This is direct quote from somebody that's talked to Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
When they traded DeAndre Hopkins, his anger level was a 2. Mm-hmm. Now it's a 10. Mm-hmm. Think about what I just said. You were a 2 when they traded DeAndre Hopkins. You happily took their $40 million a year. You happily signed your little name on the dotted line, knowing all of this. Sorry, you don't get to be outraged now. Sorry, you don't. You know how many players get to pick their own coach? None. 0. Never happens. Name me the player that's done it, ever. I'll wait.
LeBron James.
And you know why? There's a very simple...
LeBron James, that's a good one.
That's the NBA. That's completely different. I'm talking about the NFL. 53-man rosters, all that shit.
Right.
And you know why? Because there's no guarantee that you're going to be here. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hire a coach and then you force your way out. And now I'm stuck with this shithole coach that's put me 3 years behind. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not. And you shouldn't, quite frankly.
Oh, I agree with that. My problem is that they already went down that path. They started going down that path with him and then just pulled the rug out from under him.
Okay.
And so now his trust is broken in this franchise.
Okay.
And there's also the case of, I don't want to stay around here and have my career wasted, like Andre Johnson said. Do I want to be Matt Stafford? Because that's what he's going to end up being if he stays in Houston.
There was a real simple way to fix that. Real simple. When they handed you the contract,
Don't sign it.
don't fucking sign it. That's but you didn't want to do that because you're an injury-prone quarterback that's had injury issues in the past, and you wanted your guaranteed money. Well, guess what that comes with there, pudding pants? This. Now you're stuck here. And I got news for you. Everybody talks about, oh, well, they could just trade him. I got news for you. $40 million quarterback's not worth what you think he is. Not. Because it's virtually impossible to build around them.
Yeah.
Look at Kansas City. Kansas City built a juggernaut
Yep.
around Pat Mahomes because he was on a rookie deal. Mm-hmm. So they were able to pay Travis Kelce. They were able to go bring in Sammy Watkins. Able to bring in Tyreek Hill and sign him to a big-ass extension.
Mm-hmm. Tyrann Mathieu. And
Tyrann Mathieu.
Chris Jones.
You keep doing this.
Oh, yeah.
And if you really look at the Chiefs, they're very top-heavy. And that's okay because their top is very good.
Yeah.
It's hard to do that because you don't get to cull anything. Mm-hmm. So you had Mahomes on this rookie deal for 4 years. Doesn't play a year. Then comes in and is the MVP in his first year in the league.
Right.
Then wins Super Bowl in his third year.
Right.
That was a lot of time to draft a Tyreek Hill and figure out Travis Kelce and sign Sammy Watkins. You know what has to happen if you have that $40 million quarterback? That Sammy Watkins signing, he has to be a Pro Bowler. If he's not, you're bad. Mm-hmm. Period. If he's not, you're bad. You don't have time to sort things out. You have to build a team around them.
Right.
Somebody in the comments was talking about Aaron Rodgers. Guess what? Aaron Rodgers fucking hates Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
Hates him with a passion. Every person I've ever talked to that has ever known Aaron Rodgers has told me he hates Matt LaFleur.
Yep.
And they drafted a quarterback to replace him.
Yeah.
And this is one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever lived. And you know what his response was? He went on the Aaron Rodgers 2020 fuck you tour. That's how you get something done.
Yes.
Yeah.
I overslept this morning and I am pissed.
He is fired up.
I'm usually awake by 6 and I was still asleep like an hour and a half ago and I haven't had my coffee and I'm angry.
And you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. That is the way preferably to handle this situation, but I can also understand Deshaun's side of it and not wanting to be wasted.
Of course you do, participation trophy.
I call it being open-minded.
I call it being a big...
Swallow that word.
Not allowed to say that word.
You was having a hard time getting settled in over there today.
I am. I feel like my shirt's made of bees and my chair's on fire. I can't get settled.
Should have gone with the turtleneck, right?
Hey, fuck you. The turtleneck would have been comfortable. It's not this shirt that's so bad, it's the one underneath it. Like it's just all scratchy and shit.
Did you wash it?
Yes, I'm gonna punch you.
Or is
in the
this
head.
the one you just grabbed just
I'm
because?
gonna punch you in the head.
Ding.
Ding, ding. Chicago Bears defensive coordinator Chuck Pagano deciding to retire. Along with that news, apparently Matt Nagy is safe. Ryan Pace is being retained as the GM. Right decision, wrong decision.
What are you gonna do?
That's kind of my thought on it as well. What are you going to do at this point?
Who are you gonna go hire? Let me ask you a question. We have 7 open jobs in the NFL.
Yeah.
Where would the Bears fall in? You got Mitch Trubisky, Allen Robinson, who's a free agent.
Nick Foles.
Oh yay! I have Khalil Mack. Sweet, so we can stop somebody, maybe. I mean, the Ryan Pace thing. You've had 6 years to figure this out, and you hadn't done it. So.
No.
He swung and missed 3 times.
And this is the guy that I thought very highly of when he was hired before this job.
Yeah.
His 3 quarterbacks.
But I mean, what are you gonna? The Bears are in that. All right, I'll do it.
Yeah.
All of the Eagles people that were like, "Oh, you can't throw games like that." You want to know why you can? Because you don't want to wind up where the Bears are. Mm-hmm. The Bears are just good enough to never get elite players in the draft. And they're just bad enough that they're no threat to win a Super Bowl. You're in purgatory. You're just sitting in this nebulous space where you're 7-9, 8-8, 9-7. And you'll do it forever.
Yeah.
Because you're never bad. You're never bad. Mm-hmm. Either be good or be bad.
Yeah.
And when you were bad, you fucked up the draft pick. You took Mitch Trubisky at number 2 overall.
Over Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes.
Exactly.
And he traded up with a team that was never going to take him.
Exactly. Bad decision after bad decision has been made by Ryan Pace, and I don't. That's the thing. That's the thing about it I don't understand the most. Like Matt Nagy, I get it. Give him another year, see what happens. Fine. Ryan Pace, though, I think it's time for a change there.
Well,
and the only thing I can think of is you want to be able to have enough movement in the first year of a new GM. Like if this doesn't work this year, then you've got a lot of money coming off the books with Nick Foles, and that contract is coming up. So give it another year, and then have more flexibility for the new GM to come in.
Well, this is where I run a team differently than everybody else. If I'm firing the coach, I'm firing the GM too. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing an arranged marriage. I'm not doing any of this shit. I can keep the GM and fire the coach. I can't keep the coach and not fire the GM.
Yeah.
For me, it does not work that way. Mm-hmm. You know, I want a clean sweep. I want to hire these guys together. I want the GM to pick his coach. I'm not going to shoehorn a coach into a GM. Mm-hmm. Because that GM may have a completely different vision for how to build a team. And, it's the Bill Parcells thing. You ask me to cook the dinner, and I don't get to shop for any of the groceries.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we're a year away. Do you expect
from the Chicago
uprising?
uprising?
Yeah, from the bloodletting. They will clean house next year.
If they're 7-9, 8-8 again, they will.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious how they handled Mitch Trubisky though.
Well, you have to franchise him,
and that's going to pay him $30.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, your boo-boo cost you $5 million for next year because his option would have been 25.
Only got $50 million in quarterbacks next year.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Terrible quarterback.
Well, the Nick Foles deal was an albatross, and I told you that to mean the
absolutely. And we all knew it, but still, Ryan Pace went through with the deal.
Ryan Pace didn't know it. Somebody didn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And he is an important somebody.
Right.
Crazy.
Matt Nagy, he's been such a letdown, though.
He doesn't trust Mitch Trubisky, so he doesn't run an offense.
How can't
Matt Nagy is the definition of why I'm scared of Eric Bieniemy.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Nagy, from everything I heard, actually had more control of the offense than Eric Bieniemy does. He came to Chicago. That still looked like a real creative offense to you?
No.
That looked like it came from Andy Reid? Yeah, I didn't think so. That's what scares me with Bieniemy.
I have the same concerns about Bieniemy.
I mean, I do. And this is something that we make this mistake every year in the NFL. We look at super successful programs and go, you're good just because you've been close to that guy who's good. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily true. You can be good at your little niche job and not be the CEO. And I don't think Matt Nagy is the CEO. Mm-hmm. I'm one of those guys that the minute I know you're not the guy, get the fuck out of here. I'll cut my losses in a heartbeat. I'll pay the dead money. I don't care. I would rather pay the dead money and fix the mistake as opposed to just continue to bang my head against the wall.
Right.
And with Trubisky, if I'm Chicago, what's your solution? Well, we're going to have a lame duck year because there's no solution. I need Nick Foles to be in there. He's going to be paid $1 bajillion next year. and he's going to be bad. And then we're going to go get our quarterback of the future with our coach and with our GM.
If you didn't franchise him, what are the chances that you lose him?
Trubisky?
Yeah. What are the chances somebody comes in and pays him more than you're willing to?
Here's my problem. I look at quarterbacks like that and go, so what? So you lose him. First of all, who's going to sign him?
That's kind of my point. Don't spend $30 million franchising the guy. Let him hit the market and
And right there, I'm telling you what they're going to do, not necessarily what they should do.
Mm-hmm.
I may have phrased that poorly.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's me, I'll let him walk. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit.
See you later.
I don't care.
If it's
You
me,
know,
don't
Mitch
care.
Trubisky, he had 4 good games. Cool. One of them was against the Jaguars. One of them was against the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Then he went to the playoffs and played a legitimate defense. How'd that work out?
Not good.
How'd that go?
Pretty bad.
But he
Yeah.
was so close.
No, he wasn't.
No way.
No, he
Oh,
wasn't.
he was so close on a few
No,
throws.
he
Could have
wasn't.
changed this whole game.
No, he wasn't. He was close on one throw that went right through Javon Mims' hands.
There are
So-
people who believe that.
Well,
That's
those
what I'm
people
saying.
are stupid.
I think this is actually the right decision, but it's one of those hold your nose kind of things. Is we're gonna have to deal with this, mediocrity for another year, and then things free up after next year, and then we can go after a GM, we can go after a coach.
Yeah. You're a Trubisky level.
Unless they have and then there's the chance that they have the Baker Mayfield year. They have the Browns 2020 year. They end up getting a easy schedule or something and make the playoffs, and it looks just decent enough to have to hang on to that guy, because that's exactly what's happened in Cleveland, and now they're stuck with Baker Mayfield. For at least 4 more years, and then they can cut him after that.
I'm sure they'll
When the dead money won't be too bad on that big ass contract. They're gonna
Oh,
give
this is good. From Monday to this weekend, this is going to be a shitty week in the state of Ohio. The old Buckeyes got squished,
him.
and Baker Mayfield's about to have the exact same thing happen to him.
Yep.
They're going to get clapped, in the words of Chase Claypool.
They're gonna get clapped.
Can we
Not the clap.
Can we stop with TikTok? Like, for the love of God, just stop it.
They can't. The attention spans of people amaze me. And I noticed this over the weekend. We went to Chattanooga and was hanging out with my 17-year-old nephew. He was a senior in high school, football player, total bro. Love him to death. But the entire time we're sitting there, late at night, the younger kids have all gone to bed, and we're just hanging out, and he gets on TikTok. And then it was every 2 seconds. Hey, that's funny. Check that. Hey, that's funny. Check that. Hey, funny. No, TikTok will never stop, and it is the most annoying thing on the planet. And I understand how much I sound like my grandfather right now.
Blue.
But I'm done with it. Exactly. Yeah, the progressive commercials with the guy teaching people not to be their parents. I need to be in that class, because I find myself day after day, and my wife is the same way.
Yep.
With her little signs with catchy sayings on them, and all the throw pillows on the couch.
I haven't listened to words you've said for the last.
I know you
solid
have.
2 minutes.
I know you have it.
Tank is one. You remember Charlie Brown's teacher? There are times that his voice gets to that for me, and then he looks at me, and I go, "Oh shit." 6. Is that the right answer? Did I do it right?
That's why they say we have such great chemistry, just because we're so locked into each other.
Yeah, we have great chemistry because I only listen to about 60% of the things you say.
I think most people should probably just listen to 60% of the
100%. You shouldn't listen.
The time more time.
You shouldn't listen to 60% of the things I say ever. Only if it has to do with gambling, preferably not in the NBA last night.
This is very true. Brian Schottenheimer, he's gone as the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks, which frees him up to be the next head coach of the New York Jets. Yeah.
That was never going to happen.
Oh my God.
I laughed when I heard Brian Schottenheimer was getting looks as a head coach.
Right.
Like, okay. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's not good. And I've said that for a long time. Mm-hmm. I actually think this makes Seattle much better.
Me too.
Because, I've heard a couple names they could bring in. One of them was pretty interesting. It's eluding me right now, but Brian Schottenheimer's an average offensive coordinator. He has been for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's
They
just a dude.
Right. And they had that offense humming early on in the season, and then for some reason they started to get conservative.
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll took a lot of the blame for that when when this news came out, and I give him credit for that. He said, I got too conservative with the offense. We decided to, tamp down, not let Russ cook so much.
Yeah.
We put the sous chef in there, and we just really didn't really please the critics on that one. Right. I mean, the first 9 weeks of the season, Russell Wilson throws 28 touchdown passes. He had 12 over the last 8. It was obvious there was something different about that. And when, Pete Carroll said it, when we got into big games against really good defenses, we didn't take our shots, and we should have. Okay, that's great. How much of that was Brian Schottenheimer's fault, though?
Steven Steichen was the name I was looking for, by the way. That was the guy that was calling plays for the Chargers.
Oh, okay.
Under Anthony Lynn. I mean, the Brian Schottenheimer thing, I lived through this for a very long time. Mm-hmm. There are very few coordinators I've ever hated as much as I hated Brian Schottenheimer. He was the one that led to the Brett Favre's arm falls off year.
Yeah.
He's a big old dum-dum. And I saw this last night and I went, why did it take you so long to figure this out? And then Russ, thanks, Shotty, for all of your help. What help? What help did he give you?
Well, that's just the kind of guy Russ is.
It is.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is the consummate professional.
He's not going to be like, thank God this asshole's out of here.
I swear to you, if Russell Wilson ever said that about somebody, I would immediately go, that guy must be the devil.
Yeah.
Like, that guy must be Satan. Because Russell Wilson, it's that, the line for Last Man Standing, that Tim Allen show. It's one of my favorite shows on television. He looks at his wife at one point and goes, that kid's nice to everybody, and he hates you.
So there is now an opening with the Seattle Seahawks, the whole let Russ cook thing versus getting back to the running game. I don't know. I mean, it seemed like the let Russ cook thing was working as long as you had a defense, and that's
the problem is that people eventually figured it out. Mm-hmm. It's just like everything else in the NFL. You're not going to get one over on the NFL.
Right.
I mean, schematically, Andy Reid is playing chess, not checkers. Nobody else is doing that. So, eventually, it will all be discovered. And that's what happened with let Russ cook. Mm-hmm. God, why do we have to have a stupid phrase for everything? Virtual learning.
It's called marketing.
Shelter in place.
I think you should learn a thing or two about marketing.
Social distancing. God. Just call it what it is. Let the best player do what the fuck he does.
Yep.
Don't need a catchy little catchphrase. No risk it, no biscuit.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I hate people so much sometimes.
Uh-huh.
Not all people.
I can't wait till his team has some kind of catchy catchphrase.
We're not gonna.
Yeah.
We had
Jets, bird.
Yeah, you want to know why I hate them so bad? Because one of my teams did have one. You remember Lethal Simplicity? That was fun.
I don't remember.
Lethal Simplicity was Willie Taggart's buzzword for his offense. And his lethal simplicity made me want to give myself a lethal injection.
Lethal simplicity.
Yeah, I have a shirt that says that. I'll set it on fire on this show. I will do it.
It's so dumb we killed ourselves.
Yeah. Lethal simplicity. An offense so boring you'll actually lose your will to live.
It just leads me to think, like, who is the most pissed off franchise?
By the way, Stephen Dow had a point. We do have a catchphrase. We spell our name constantly.
Yeah.
Jets. Yeah, we do.
And he loves that.
I do.
He does.
I do, because it's not stupid. We've been doing it for 40 years, and it's not new. I don't like new shit.
Stop with new shit. Now who sounds like
old
man?
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I don't like.
It's the way we've always done it. We have to spell it out for everybody. They don't know.
Why did you turn into Abe Vigoda? Why is your old man voice Abe Vigoda?
I was doing your baseball voice.
My day we didn't have. What was I talking about?
Effie, where's my pudding?
When does the Perry Mason come on?
Exactly.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
You turned it into Abe Vigoda. You did a thing. I was not fond of that.
Abe Vigoda's an old man. Why?
He's a dead man now. He's been dead for like, I don't know, 2 decades.
Well, yeah, but I mean, was he a guy who was ever young?
You gave it. No, he was actually born at 50.
That's what I'm saying. He was like Benjamin Button when he was born, and he just stayed that
You just
way.
gave it an accent that I wasn't fond of. Don't do that. Don't take liberties with my
Don't
shit.
do accents.
You can do my shit. Just do it right.
Gotcha. Who is the most pissed off franchise or the pissed off fan base in the NFL right now?
I really want to hear from those listening. So in the comments, tell us who you think the most pissed off fan base is. Because he and I pretty much unilaterally agree. And I can't wrap my head around how it's anybody else.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
I think it's the Eagles, and it has to be.
I believe you're right. You had everything in front of you. You had won the Super Bowl for the first time, and things were great. And then over a 3-year period, it just went all to shit. Now we've had quarterback controversies, and the guy who we thought was the MVP at one time now looks like dog shit. You got your head coach is gone because of a difference of opinions, I guess, with the GM and the ownership, and it's it's awful.
3 years ago. It's crazy.
Right, it's been 3 years. Can we not have a little time?
Yeah, like.
Jesus.
David Smith's
We were
completely
in the playoffs last year.
David Smith's completely convinced they're hiring Gerard Mayo and is just waiting to sit back and laugh at it.
Gerard Mayo.
That's who they're interviewing today
Okay.
for their head coaching spot. He's not getting that job. It's not happening.
Has he been coaching?
Yeah, he's the defense coordinator for the Patriots.
Oh.
Well, the de facto defensive coordinator.
Is he like?
Gotcha.
Is he 30 years old yet?
Is he 30 years
Gerard,
old? yet?
Gerard Mayo's older than I am. He's younger than Tank is. But,
Well, I mean, why'd you have to say it like that?
well, because I really like to put the clear delineation between
Aha.
I am still young and virile,
Between
and
the 4 years between us, it's
How old are you?
38.
Well, it's 5 years because
Oh,
I'm 33.
excuse me. Oh, I thought you were 34. My bad.
I'm 43.
Well, here's the thing.
You'll be 34 in 2
Brian
months.
said, I'm 43. Yeah, I just want it to be. I just want it to be known that I'm still young and virile, and you smell like my grandmother's house.
Oh, damn.
I've been trying to get that in for 45 seconds
I'm not even wearing Ben Gay today.
today. Notice he said today. He didn't say I don't wear it at all.
I
He
do.
said I'm not doing it right now.
I have to sometimes.
Wait.
I'm straight up. This is an honest to God true statement. If you sent me to the convenience store and said, "Bring me back some Ben Gay," I would not know where to look for it.
Well, you'd never buy it at the convenience
I would
store
walk-
because it would cost you way more.
I
to
would,
buy it at the regular
or like a drugstore.
Okay.
I would walk around like a blind man with a cane, going, "Am I close? It warmer, colder?
First aid section.
I don't know."
First of all, you need to get
Right near
yourself
all the
tied
braces
about
and the wraps and the. I'm
it, and
very
you're okay.
familiar
Bingo,
now.
you know what? I'd always the smell that sits beside me. I'd never had a perfect explanation of it. Mothballs and Listerine, love it. There it is. Mothballs and Listerine, going with it.
What's the over under of how many butterscotches he's got in his pocket?
Yeah. How many Werther's Originals do you have in your pocket there, Papa?
None in my pocket.
They're in the truck.
They're in my backpack.
Do you really have butterscotch candies?
I don't have butterscotch candies though.
I was about to be like, well, I mean, as a young buck, I will take one.
But you can catch me on a Tuesday, and I possibly will. Werther's Originals though. Those are the.
Oh, Patrick Holt said better than Circus Peanuts and Red Man.
Red man.
Fantastic. Grab you a little chewer stuff.
Damn, doing the sportsocracy down on a farm. That's.
All right, pissed off fan bases.
Okay.
There was one in the comments that I want to talk about because I think I've changed my mind.
All right, which one is that?
Pittsburgh Steelers. You thought you were good, and you were good just that long ago, and then
No lies, but how much is that? How much is that? Just I don't know. You just kind of cast that off as we had a bad luck downfall,
I don't
rather
know where
than
they
being
go from
this
here.
thing is on fire and I'm pissed about it. I can get pissed about losing. I mean, I get pissed. I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. I've been pissed about losing every year except for 2002.
Yeah, but see, they're winners and you're losers, so it's
Well,
we're
I mean,
yeah, like us. I'm not saying
a little bit different.
I belong there too.
I get it. But see, this is why I don't have so much sympathy for you as a fan base. Fuck you. You've had how many damn Super Bowls over the years and how many generational players and blah, 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 blah. Every franchise has to go through their ebb and flow. And this is your ebb.
But
And
I
we
think they're
all
the
saw it
angriest.
coming with Ben Roethlisberger.
I think they're the angriest though.
I'd like to add a team in there.
The New York Giants.
Football Giants retained Dave Gettleman. Get the fuck out of here.
Good point. Good point.
I can't
I'd be pissed
stand
off.
it. We
Yeah.
are pissed.
Our producer is a constantly angry Giants fan.
Is there any other kind of Giants fan though?
Well,
Not lately. And there shouldn't be. You don't really have any reason not to be pissed off. Oh, we got a generational talent at running back. Yeah, he just fucking missed the entire season.
Yeah, he done.
So he's not done. Saquon Barkley's going to come back from an ACL. I mean, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
the
not
only
like he's
problem is
done.
that it would be really nice if he could see a box that didn't have 9 dudes in it. And
Well-
you know what requires? You know what that requires? A quarterback not named Daniel Jones. You want to talk about a team wasting your talent? Mm-hmm. I believe that applies to Saquon and the New York Football Gents.
Yes. New faces we'd like to see in new places.
There's
Saquon
one.
Barkley's on the list.
I'd really like to say you would look good in the green locker room. It's across the hall. Whoa,
Selfish motivations. I
Oh,
like
100%.
it.
100%.
I mean, there's not that's like the Deshaun Watson thing though. Like everybody's talking. Well, we'll take him.
Yeah.
Deshaun, come on down here, buddy. We'll take care of you. We'll get you get a generational player like that. Everybody wants him on their team.
Actually, you know what? David Smith has this is why I love comments, because when there's so many of you, you think about things that I don't think about. Dallas Cowboys. David Smith said if you have a Super Bowl in the past 15 years, you don't count.
Yeah.
I would say Jacksonville, but I don't think they have a fan. I don't think their fan can be that upset.
And they're getting Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I mean, you could be upset. I mean, you thought the organization was going a certain way. I mean, hell, they were in the AFC Championship game 2 years ago, 3 years ago. When was that?
Oh, who are we talking about?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, yeah, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. 3 years ago, you made a deep run in the playoffs. You were like the surprise team of the league, and then it blew up. I mean, and you know, your organization did it to themselves with the Jalen Ramsey thing, and Yannick Ngakoue just
You
going
hired
down
Tom
the line.
Coughlin.
Everybody.
But the Dallas Cowboys, do you understand that there are Dallas Cowboy fans that have graduated college that have seen one playoff win? Mm-hmm. I think that's a good point. Mm-hmm. And then you have like our executive producer, Corey, who's about 40?
Yeah.
I just know you're all older than me. He grew up with Super Bowls, and then there weren't any more of those. Mm-hmm. Then those stopped happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is a franchise that just can't get out of its own way. Some of it's bad luck. Some of it's real bad decisions in hiring.
Hey, but they got Dan Quinn now. Yeah.
Dan Quinn is a defensive coordinator, though. I think that's
It'll be
going
fine.
to be an improvement.
I go ahead and tell you, I'm probably picking Dallas to win the division next year. I'll do it
agree
again.
with that.
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
Don't you threaten me with a good time.
Right. If they can just figure out that defense and go, they're going to go from the mix scheme that Mike Nolan had in place. They're going to go back to a 4-3, and it's going to be better than it was.
It's awful brave of you to assume I won't eat that puppy.
Yeah. David Smith also said that Lions fans will forever be.
Well, Lions fans are just look. The Lions fans, they're like Jets fans. We're always drunk, so we're never that angry.
Right.
And even if we are angry, you just tell us to calm down, sleep it off, and wake up tomorrow, and it's right where we expect it to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
See, to me, to be the most pissed off, you had to have an expectation.
Yeah, and they're always going to do that.
The best way I can explain being a Lions fan, it's kind of like being a Jets fan. Mm-hmm. Who was that? You remember in Greek mythology, there was the guy that had to push the rock up the hill every day, and every night he would fall asleep and the rock would fall down the hill, and this is what he had to do every day for the rest of eternity. It's kind of like being a Lions fan. Yeah. The only difference is that as a Lions fan, you wake up every morning and you're kicked right in the wiener. And then, as soon as that pain goes away, they do it again.
Right.
And you just keep doing that forever.
Yeah.
Like that for all eternity.
It's a yeah, but franchise. It always has been. We got Barry Sanders. Yeah, but.
He retired early.
Yeah, you had two of the greatest offensive weapons of all time and still didn't win a playoff game.
We had Calvin Johnson. Yeah, but. Matt Millen.
Oh.
Yeah, let's all remember the Matt Millen years.
Boy.
If you were close to a Detroit Lions fan during the Matt Millen administration, it was rough.
There was a lot of crying, open containers in vehicles, swearing at strangers.
Right. A lot like having Democrats in your family over the last 4 years.
Oh!
Turned on his own team there, didn't he?
Oh!
Hey.
Tank!
Look at Tank going friendly fire there.
And Jeremy's over there. Yes! Let the hate flow through you.
Good.
I was born in the darkness. Just so you know.
Born in the darkness. You were born in the darkness. I've heard the stories.
Pissed off fan bases, though. I think obviously, if you got a losing team, you're gonna be pissed off.
There's like 8 of us that we don't ever get to be in this. Jets, Bengals, Lions, Jaguars,
Bucks.
No,
Put the Bucks in there.
You won a Super Bowl. You don't get to come. You don't get
Texans.
You don't get to hang out with us. You won a Super Bowl.
We had 1 year.
Okay, we had 1 year too, and it was in 1969.
Okay.
You don't get to hang out with us.
Okay.
No. Take your trophy. You take your trophy, and you go away.
Cardinals.
There's a good one.
What about the Cardinals? I think that fan base might be a little pissed off.
I didn't know they had a fan base. It's awful liberal of you to call that a fan base. I think it's 8 guys accidentally wearing red sweatshirts. I don't think that a fan base makes.
And a whole lot of people stuck in nursing homes.
Yes.
Arizona, remember, is one of the biggest retirement destinations. So
it does have one of the greatest city mottos you'll ever hear. Phoenix, it's a great place to die.
And you got Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, obviously there's a lot to like about that organization, but are you pissed off at the way this season ended? I mean, hell, Jeremy, you're pissed off. They weren't the best team in the NFC like you said they were at the beginning of the season.
They were. It was just poorly coached.
It's all on Cliff.
Now all I'm doing in my head
Those
is writing,
8 losses were all on Cliff.
Now all I'm doing in my head is writing other city mottos. And I can't get away from Cleveland, which is strikingly similar to Phoenix. Phoenix is, it's a great place to die. Cleveland is, stay here long enough and you'll want to.
That's a good one.
The mistake by the lake is
I want to do a lot of these. Follow me on Twitter at JGreenESPN. This might be what I spend the rest of the day doing.
Nice. All right. He is out. I think there are a lot of fan bases that have a lot of hope right now that aren't in the pissed category. The Washington football team, I'm looking at them. I think there's a lot to like about where that
next year, hopefully
headed.
we won't have to call you the football team. Mm-hmm. The football team. It's like the Ohio State University. It just pisses me off.
I feel like they're not getting rid of that.
Oh, they're 100% getting rid of it.
They'll get rid of it.
Eventually, they'll be tired of their acronym being "What the fuck." Only not, it's you flip 2 of them, but it still looks like WTF on the bottom of the screen.
But I think the Dwayne Haskins thing opened that up. Am I wrong?
I love the people that.
Oh God,
I love the people that watch our show. I'm not saying that one out loud, but you can read it. It's in the comments, and it's pretty damn accurate.
Okay, that kind of scares me.
All right, so there is one more thing that we have to talk about.
Oh, what's that?
Have you heard the James Harden story?
No.
From last night.
What happened? How bad?
What did he do?
So last night, the Houston Rockets played the LA Lakers and got shellacked.
Uh-huh.
The final score was 117-100. They were down 40 at one point. It was nowhere near as close as that loss, as that score makes it sound.
Right.
And I quote James Harden at the stanchion after the game. I love this city. I literally have done everything that I can. I mean, this situation is crazy. It's something that I don't think can be fixed. I don't know that I've ever heard a star player be that honest before. And I can't stand James Harden, but good on you. I'll give you points for honesty.
I've done everything I can.
I've done everything I can.
Except play
and I don't-
defense.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't done
How
that.
about that? Would you like to try that?
He can't do that.
Except one championship.
He
No.
can at least
He
try.
can't do that either.
No championships for him.
Yeah, stop. Listen, Thanos, stop saying things that he can't really do. He can't play defense and he can't win a championship. He's done all he can do, which is shoot 40 times a night and not be very good.
Yeah.
Be the most overrated player in the NBA. He's very good at that. I don't know that I've ever heard a player be this honest.
No.
We're going to talk about this more this afternoon on ESPN Radio. But I heard it last night and my mouth was tangibly open like, what did he just say? And then nobody said anything about it for like 10 hours. And I just saw it on ESPN like, oh, we figured it out.
Well, everybody's been dancing around this thing the entire time. Or are you talking about the media didn't pick it up?
The media didn't pick it up till this morning.
Ah, I got you. Well, I mean, it was West Coast basketball game. We were all
It started at 8. This happened at 11 Eastern last night.
Oh, well.
I only know that because
Don't know.
I was still awake.
I mean, everybody in that organization, though, has been dancing around this. I mean,
They have to trade him. I'm calling
everybody
it now.
knows the problem. Everybody's seen the problem. They know it needs to be addressed, and there's nothing you can really say.
I'm
Now-
calling it now. James Harden gets traded within the fortnight. Within 2 weeks. He gone. And I won't be shocked if he never plays another game for the Houston Rockets. And, ironically enough, you know who was sitting courtside last night?
Who?
Deshaun Watson. A whole lot of pissed off in Houston last night. You think they got together after the game and went, you think your team sucks?
Yeah.
Listen to this shit.
How the fuck did we
They
get out of here?
followed me around.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. And we'll
They
talk
put
about
a squatter car outside my house. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it.
James Harden. It is crazy times, and yes, he will be gone. We'll talk about more on the ESPN Asheville show.
You know what we should do?
You what?
We should have a segment this afternoon. Who has it worse? You're James Harden and I'm Deshaun Watson. And we just go back and forth, barbing each other with the reasons that we're so pissed off.
That could be fun.
That could be fun.
That could be fun.
That could be fun. The only thing is on ESPN Radio, I can't say fuck, and I really am going to want to. I will figure it out.
This afternoon at 3 on ESPN Asheville, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Green. You can hear it live or on demand with the app and take it everywhere you go. We are in the Sportsocracy, at the Sportsocracy on all the social medias. Like it, share it, and follow it. We'll be live tomorrow morning again at 9 a.m. live from the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Green. We'll see you later.